There's a famous story about a young man who approached a Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, asking him what he needed to learn in order to be a philosopher. Epictetus didn't hand him a book. He didn't give him a list of theories. He simply looked at him and said, "You must first learn to be a master of yourself." In the world of management, we spend an incredible amount of time learning how to master systems. We learn how to master software, master budgets, how to master project timelines, and even AI. But how much time do we actually spend learning how to master the person sitting in your chair? Welcome back to The Radical Stoic. I'm your host, and today we're going deep into the inner architecture. We're talking about the personal skills, that is, the internal muscles that you need to develop if you want to lead with the kind of unshakable clarity that we've been discussing in this series. Because here is the Stoic truth. Your effectiveness as a manager will never exceed your level of self-mastery. When we talk about skills in business, we usually mean technical ones, but the Stoics were interested in character skills. They believed that leadership wasn't something you did. It was an expression of who you were. If you want to lead a team through a crisis, you don't just need a plan. You need emotional regulation. If you want to make a difficult decision, you don't just need data. You need focus and clarity. And if you want to build a culture of trust, you don't just need policies. You need empathy and integrity. So, let's look at the 4 pillars of the Stoic manager's personal toolkit. Pillar 1. Self-awareness. The Stoics had a word for this: prosoch. It means a state of continuous, watchful attention. Marcus Aurelius, in the middle of running the Roman Empire, wrote to himself, "Everywhere, at each moment, you have the option to accept this event with ritual content, to treat this person with justice, and to apply to this mind state the rules of discernment." Think about that. At each moment. As a manager, your greatest enemy isn't a competitor or a bad market. It's your own autopilot. It's the moment you snap at a team member because you're stressed. It's the moment you avoid a difficult conversation because you're tired. So, the skill of self-awareness is the ability to catch yourself in the act of being you. It's the ability to step back and say, "I'm feeling defensive right now. Why?" Or, "I'm about to make this decision based on ego, not facts." When you develop self-awareness, you stop being a victim of your impulses and start being the architect of your responses. Now the second pillar, emotional regulation. This is what the Stoics called the citadel. There's a common misconception that Stoics are emotionless. That couldn't be further from the truth. Stoics felt everything: fear, frustration, joy, grief. The difference was that they didn't let those emotions drive the bus. Epictetus famously said, "It is not the things themselves that disturb men, but their judgment about these things." As a manager, you're constantly bombarded by things: a missed deadline, a resignation, a critical email from a client. Emotional regulation is the skill of separating the event from your judgment of it. The event is a missed deadline. Your judgment is, "This is a disaster, my team is incompetent, and I'm going to look bad." It's the judgment that creates the stress, not the deadline. The Stoic manager learns to build what Marcus Aurelius called an inner citadel, a place of mental calm where you can look at a situation objectively, strip away the drama, and ask, what's the most virtuous and valuable thing to do right now. The third pillar: deep focus and discipline. We live in the age of distraction. For a manager, your attention is the most hunted commodity in the building. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." In the 2020s, the skill of focus is a superpower. The Stoic manager practices the discipline of doing one thing at a time with total presence. When you're with a team member, be with them. When you're reviewing a report, really review it. This requires the discipline to say no to the trivial so you can say yes to the vital. It's the discipline of the morning routine and the evening reflection that we talked about before. It's the understanding that your energy is finite and where you place it is your most important strategic decision every day. And pillar 4. This is the one that surprises people. People think Stoicism is solitary. But Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, what is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee. Stoic empathy isn't about being nice. It's about understanding that every person you manage is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. It's about recognizing that their bad behavior is often just a result of their own lack of Stoic tools. When a team member fails, the Stoic manager doesn't react with anger. They react with reflective thinking. They ask themselves, what did I fail to communicate? What pressure are they under? How can I help them see this clearly? Now, this is empathy as a high-level leadership skill. It's the ability to connect with the human being in front of you without losing your emotional center. So, how can we build these skills? You don't build them by listening to this podcast. You build them by training. Tomorrow morning, when you walk into the office or log on to your first call, I want you to try one thing. I want you to practice the pause. When something happens that would usually make you react, like a snarky comment or a tech failure or a sudden change in plans, I want you to pause for 3 seconds. In that time, I want to use your self-awareness to notice your reaction. Use your emotional regulation to strip away the drama. And use your focus to choose a response that aligns with your values. That 3-second pause is where your Stoic edge lives. It sounds simple. It's incredibly difficult. But it's the path to becoming the kind of leader that people don't just work for, but truly respect. You don't need a promotion to practice self-mastery. You don't need a bigger budget to start practicing focus. You just need the willingness to look inward. As Seneca said, most powerful is he who has himself in his own power.